Do you guys remember me? I'm that girl who used to film videos like way long ago and talked about nail polish. You guys, I don't know. I've had such a busy, like, I guess it's been almost a month, a little less than a month since I filmed my video, the last video. It has been so crazy. I mean, I've been so busy at work. My husband's been super busy at work. We also went on vacation to Vancouver, so we took like a week and a half off to do that. And then I used to be able to film videos in the evenings when I got home from work, and it has been so unbearably hot the last few weeks. I mean, triple digits every day. And so the days that I do have time to film videos, I'm either getting home from work and I'm super sweaty and my energy is just drained, and then on the weekends I've been trying to like get some swatching in, and we've been busy on the weekends also, so lots of excuses. I apologize that I've been gone for so long. I've been wanting to film videos. It's just been really hard to kind of get back into the groove after not filming for so long. So we've got quite a few weeks of manicures here to talk about, so this may be a longer video than you're used to seeing from me. So I'm going to try to go ahead and get this all filmed in one session. We'll see how long of a video this is. So we are going back. I feel like it's been not too long since I filmed a video, but it looks like I've got 6 weeks worth of manicures here, which seems weird. I feel like it's only been like a month since I filmed a video, but regardless. Okay, so first up for manicures, this is Keny Glaze 2 Yacht to Handle. Funny enough, this is like, I don't really have a whole lot of these like neon aqua colors. I've got several in my collection, but a lot are more muted. So I don't really have too much in my collection like this. And so I did pick up one from Floss not too recently that's similar to this, because I am running a little low, and the formula on this is not terribly great. So I am on the lookout for something similar to this. So this is just a neon kind of aqua shade. I did do some stamping over this. I did some flamingos, so a very Floridian looking manicure that week. But yeah, I do really like this color. I'm just not crazy about the formula. So, but like I said, it's quite unique to my collection, so that's why it's kind of stuck around for the last couple years. So that is Keny Glaze 2 Yacht to Handle. And then next up is one of my favorite polishes, I think, in my collection. This is Cirque's Game Over. This came out in their summer collection last year. This is about as neon red as you can get. I mean, it is just the perfect neon red, which is very hard for folks. A lot of like neon reds come off a little orange. This one just comes off just a beautiful, beautiful red, beautiful formula. I just love this. It's like eye searing on the nail. It's just a beautiful polish. I wish they could re-release this because it's not available anywhere, and there's nothing that I've found that's similar to it. If you want to get close to it, Keny Glaze Ready to Rave is probably the closest thing that I've been able to find, but it's quite, it definitely has more of an orange tinge to it. And also Floss Gloss Fast Lane is kind of comparable, but both of them up against this just look really, really orange. So I've been not able to find anything similar to this. I love this polish so much. I did do some stamping over it, and the stamping I thought turned out phenomenal. I just did some like little like drippy drops coming down it, and I love the way it turned out. It looked really, really nice and crisp. So that again is Game Over from Cirque. Keeping with the theme of some bright neon colors, I also busted out Virago Varnish's Horrendous. This is it's not a highlighter green. It's got like a little bit more green to it. So it's kind of like a neon chartreuse kind of color. Very, very pretty. Unfortunately, you can't get this anymore. It's a little bit of a thicker, Virago Varnish has a little bit of a thicker formula. So this is a little bit difficult to work with, but not terribly difficult. I also did some stamping over this as well. I thought that turned out really nice. I unfortunately got a little bit of paint thinner on this bottle, so the bottle logo has started to smear a little bit. But yeah, I really enjoy this color. I wish the formula, I might put some thinner in it maybe, and that might help the formula a little bit, because it's just a tad too thick for me. But I really like this color. I don't really go for like highlighter yellows, so the fact that this has just like a tad more green in it just makes it a little bit more palatable for me. So unfortunately, I don't think you can get this anymore. So I feel like Cirque has like a chartreuse green that's kind of similar to this that I've thought about getting, but I just, since this bottle is somewhat full, I haven't like wanted to get it yet. I did also recently get a Floss gloss. I don't think it's terribly similar to this, but it is kind of a chartreuse green, so be on the lookout for that. Once I do a haul video, we'll see if they're kind of comparable, but yeah, this unfortunately isn't available anymore. So that again is Horrendous from Virago Varnish. An old favorite from my collection I decided to bust out. This is Cupcake Polish, very good looking. It's a really pretty, just like magenta, kind of leans like magenta purpley pink, but it's a little bit more pink than it is purple. And it just has this really nice linear holographic in it. It also has that really cool like pink flash to it. So when it gets in the sunlight, it is just a crazy like glow on your nails. It's really, really pretty. I haven't worn this in about a year, and I feel like the color has changed slightly since I wore it last time. I felt like it was a little bit more purple. This go around, I feel like it was a little bit more pink, as you can tell here on the sides. I have heard rumors that this does, the pigment in this does change over time, so I do anticipate this to kind of like, you know, expire after a while, but for now I still think it gives off a similar effect. It's just the color on it starting to change up just a smidge. But this is a really beautiful polish. This is in a lot of nail polish collectors collections for a reason. It's just a really pretty linear holographic, really, really sparkly and pretty on the nail. So that again is very good looking from Cupcake Polish. And then last one to round out that week is a new one I got from Potion Polish. Potion Polish is a new brand to me. In my last weekly manicures video, I feel bad saying weekly manis because the last couple videos I've done have been like couple weeks worth, but we're gonna stick with that. But in my last weekly manis video, I talked about how Potion Polish was a new brand to me, and I featured the other polish that I purchased in this haul. This is the other one that I actually went to the website to buy because I saw a swatch of it and I thought it was beautiful. This is called Transient, and Transient is this like periwinkle, like bluish purple, but it leans a little bit more on the purple side, so it comes off a little bit of like a lavender shade, and it's got this beautiful like copper flash that you can see in there. There's also some flakies. I've got a crazy glare today, it's killing me, but it's also got some really nice flakies in there, and the flakies are kind of multi-chromy, but I thought this was a beautiful polish, great formula. I can't wait to try more from Potion Polish. I think this polish was just really, really gorgeous. I really enjoyed it. So that again is Transient. Super pretty on that. And then next week, the following week, sticking with the brights, I went with El Capitan from Floss Gloss. This is another standard. I got this last summer and I just love this polish so much. It's kind of like an ocean blue, really nice. It comes off a little darker on the nails than I would like, and the formula's great. It is a little thin, but it does get opaque, I think, in 2 coats. Just a beautiful blue polish, great for summertime. I just think it's, you know, it's like a deep, rich blue, but yet still bright and vibrant on the nail. So that is really pretty. It's a little bit darker than, say, like a Sally Hansen Pacific Blue. It's just, it's more of like an ocean, like a deep ocean blue. So really pretty. That again is El Capitan from Floss Gloss. Next up is China Glaze. This is all pink to that. One of the few China Glaze in my collection that I really, really enjoy. The formula on this is really nice. And it's just your standard kind of hot pink color, really nice. I feel like, I can't recall, did I do stamping over this? I did. I did a really cool kind of ombre gradient kind of stamp. It's the first one that I've tried that I can remember, or it's the one, most recent one that I've done. I feel like I haven't done one in a long time, or if I haven't done one at all. But I did some like what are they called? Like Monstera leaves, some like palm leaves. And I did, like I said, a gradient stamp over this. It turned out really, really nice. So this is a really nice pink. If you don't have anything like this in your collection, this is a pretty good one. Really nice formula, and I really enjoy it. And I don't have a whole lot of pinks in my collection that I love, 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 but this one always comes out in the summertime. So that again is all pink to that from China Glaze. Moving along, we've got a Zoya. I feel like I've got 3 Zoyas in here. This Zoya is Amy. This is fairly new to me. I picked this up not too long ago. I can't remember which sale I picked it up in, but this is fairly new to my collection. This is a really pretty color, wonderful, kind of like foily orange color. It's very fiery on the nail. I thought this would be appropriate for summertime just because it seemed so like fiery and bright on the nail. But I wore it and I liked it, but it just didn't feel very summery to me. So it felt a little awkward during the day. So I feel like I'll either wear this in, I feel like this is more a fall appropriate shade for me. I just didn't love it on my nails at this particular time. The formula was nice. I think it has a really nice effect. I just didn't feel, for someone who's a seasonal polish wearer like myself, I just felt like this wasn't super, I wasn't super feeling this right now, but this is a gorgeous color and I'm glad to add it to my collection because I don't really have anything comparable in my collection. I have heard if you have 90 Fireside, it's somewhat similar to this. It might be just a tad more red. So that again is Amy from Zoya. Moving along is one of my favorites in my collection. This is the original Flip Flop Fantasy. Oh, I only have maybe like a quarter left in this bottle and it's gotten to the point where it's super thick, so it got opaque in 2 coats. And I believe I attempted to do a stamp over it, but the stamping polish I used turned out a little spotty in some spaces, so it wasn't the best stamp, but I thought it turned out fairly well. I love this color so much. I don't really go for like crazy neons any other time of year, but in the summertime I just really enjoy them, and I have not been able to find anything that is comparable to this. Everything that says that it's comparable I've found are kind of close, but they just cannot replicate what this is. It's like they can match the color, but the color isn't like as pastel as this is, or it'll be pastel, but it won't be this like pinky corally color. So I'm just gonna be so sad when I lose this because I have been unable to find anything that's similar. And I do have a couple in my collection. I'm trying not to collect too many because I don't want to have like 35 of these like kind of colors in my collection and then never be able to get through them all. So I do have at this time probably like 1 or 2 in my collection that will take its place when it goes. I'll probably get 1 or 2 more manis out of this before it's probably dead. So those will probably take its place. The one that I'm interested in seeing, and I haven't seen anyone swatch them because not too many people have the OG version of Flip Flop Fantasy, but I might pick it up here eventually. The Orly that released in their most recent summer collection, I want to say it's called Afterglow. Looking at swatches, it looks like it's kind of similar to this. So I'm interested in picking that up to see because I have yet to find anyone who's done a swatch of them both together. So that one looks like it might be a good one. But like I said, I don't want to collect 35, Flip Flop Fantasy colors in my collection. But yeah, that's the struggle with this, is I really love this polish, but I'm always sad when I wear it because I know it's not going to be here for very much longer, and I just haven't been able to find anything that's close. And maybe that's why they ended up reformulating this color, because whatever the pigment is that's in here, they just can't seem to get their hands on it, and neither can anyone else because I cannot find anyone that's replicated this yet. So yeah, anywho, I think there's also like, what's that Jodie's polish that she likes, that hot pants? I've seen, is that Color Club? I've seen swatches of that and that looks kind of similar. It looks like it's a little bit more peachy, but yeah, anyway, moral of the story, there's a whole bunch of like people that are trying real hard to replicate this, but they have yet to do it. So like I said, I'm gonna be sad when this polish is gone. So that again is Flip Flop Fantasy from China Glaze. And then last up for that week is a new A England to me. This is called Whispering Wave. I got this from Miss Kendra here on YouTube, Keny Nicole. She sent this to me. She showed me a swatch of it and she was like, oh, I don't really like this. And I said, well, will you send it to me? And she said yes. So this one is a like turquoise greenish blue, leans a little bit more blue than it does green, and it's got this really pretty flash that's in there, which you don't see a lot in A England. It's got this very faint kind of like, is it, I want to say it's like purpley pinkish. It's very faint. You only catch it in certain lights. I want to say it's purple. And I thought I caught it there for like a half a second. So it's got this very faint kind of purpley flash that's in there, and then their standard kind of you know, scattered hollow that they do in their polishes. This is a really pretty polish. I wasn't crazy about it just because I picked up that Pucka Fairy not too recently. And so this feels kind of similar. It's definitely more green than that one is. So I wasn't terribly crazy about this one, but I still liked it, and I think I'm gonna have a hard time getting rid of the 8 Englands in my collection because I just really like them a whole lot. So I think I'll keep this in my collection and try it again. I think it's just because I wore that other Pucka Fairy not too recently, and I loved that so much that this one kind of fell a little flat for me. And also because the duochrome, or the shimmer flash that's in here, is not terribly apparent. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it in my collection and try it out again, but I wasn't overly crazy about it, but I thought it was pretty nonetheless. So that again is Whispering Wave from A England. Oh, my back is hurting. Oh, I haven't even been sitting here that long and my back's already hurting. Okay, pressing along. Next up, you guys, I can't even tell you how much I love this polish. So, this is Light of Lyra from Tonic. I have been wanting this polish. I don't have very many lemmings on my list, but this was one of them. I knew of Light of Lyra, but I didn't really for some reason I just never thought it was gonna come back into stock, and so I kind of put it out of my head like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to get it, so why lust over it? But then Joe from Polish Talk featured this as one of her favorite polishes not too long ago, and she showed a swatch of it, and I was like, why did you show me a swatch of this? So after she showed me that swatch, I was just on the hunt, like, oh my god, I need this Light of Lyra. Somebody had it in a D-stash and I didn't get my hands on it, and so it officially went on my lemming list. And like I said, I don't have very many polishes that are on my lemming list, but this jumped up there. But I had the feeling like it was never going to come back into stock, because I had always heard about it. You know, I had heard about it for several years now, that it's on a bunch of people's favorites list, but I had never seen it come back into stock, and so I just assumed I was never going to be able to get my hands on it. And Tonic, probably like a month or two ago now, she released a bunch of polishes, and I must not be on her mailing list or anything, because I didn't. So I saw on Instagram that she said like a bunch of polishes were going to release, and I looked through them and I wasn't terribly excited about them, so I hadn't planned on buying any. And then Sunday rolls around, which is when she releases her polishes, and I was like, oh, I'll just jump on there real quick and just kind of browse around and just make sure that there's nothing on there that I want. So I jumped on there and I'm browsing through, and this mofo popped up, and I was like, you have got to be shitting me. So I immediately, like, I think we were in the middle of like eating lunch or something, and I was like, oh hell no, click that, stuck that in my cart, and I bought it like immediately within like 5 minutes. I was like, holy shit, bought it. I then had to email Kendra and was like, Kendra, because I know she was on the hunt for it after Polish Talk also, so I jumped on, you know, text messaging, and I texted Kendra and I was like, holy crap, Light of Lyra is on the thing, go buy it right now. So she jumps and goes buy it. I threw it up on Instagram, like I had to alert everybody because this was insane. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So, long story short, I now have Light of Lyra, and I understand. This is like the most amazing polish in the entire world. Especially for people that love purple. I know people that don't even like purple and like this polish. If you love purple, you need this polish in your collection. I'm not even joking. This is an amazing polish. So it's a very warm purple, kind of like a lilac, and it's got this beautiful blue flash in it. The blue flash is just amazing. You can see it, but you can still see the purple on the nail. It's just a beautiful polish. I can't say enough good things about it. I love it so much. I am so glad it's in my collection. I wish I had gotten a backup of it, and I still might get a backup of it if I ever happen to see it pop up on the website again, because I have a feeling I will wear this a lot. So please, if you can find this, get your hands on it, because it is so beautiful. So that again is Light of Lyra from Tonic Polish. So after wearing that, whatever the next polish was going to be was probably going to be, you know, it was probably going to have a hard time overshadowing that Tonic polish. But this one was pretty. It's just, I wore Light of Lyra, so this unfortunately got the bad place of being the polish after Light of Lyra. But this is still pretty. So this is called, I want to say it's Lacquester. I'm new to this brand. This is the first one that I picked up. And I kind of just picked this up on a whim. I was looking on Instagram and I want to say Color for Nails popped this swatch of this up. And this was Lackester's the Indie Shop exclusive polish that they featured in a couple months ago when the Indie Shop was. And I guess they had some extras, and so they gave them to Color for Nails, and so Color for Nails had a couple of these for sale, and I decided to grab it. It's pretty similar to a Stella Chroma that I picked up in the polish pickup not too long ago. It's this dusty purple with a lot of really pretty metallic copper flakies, and then there's also some scattered hollow in there. I think this is going to be more, I'm going to like this a lot more come like fall and winter time. I think I was ready for a palette cleanser, and it also came right after Light of Lyra, so I was just kind of, you know, I was just a little like meh with this polish, but I think that's just because, I don't think that was the polish's fault. I just think it's just, you know, what happened in the order that it happened in. So this is really pretty, so you can kind of see that like gold flash that's in there, and then the flakies. So this is a nice polish. Don't think you can get your hands on this anymore, but I did enjoy this. It's just, you know, nothing can really top Light of Lyra after that, you know what I mean? Anywho, so next up for that week is a polish that I don't have in my collection anymore. It is a polish that I picked up, or that I got from Polish Pickup. So I didn't pick up any last month. I think this would have been June that I picked it up. I only picked up 2 from that Polish Pickup, and they accidentally sent me a polish that I didn't purchase instead of the one that I did purchase. So they ended up having to send me the one I purchased later on. But I got this polish, and so I kind of just got this polish because they sent it to me, and that is Sugar Rush Crush from Painted Polish. I don't have the polish anymore because I have destashed it at this point, so it has gone to a better home now, but you can see the swatch here. It was a pretty polish, and I had seen it on the Polish Pickup, and I had thought about purchasing it, but me and Painted Polish, I just don't really care for the formula on Painted Polishes. I just find them a little difficult to work with. They're a little thick, and they're also they dry very textured no matter how much top coat I put on them. So I feel like the top coat that I use, which is the Glisten and Glow, is a really thick top coat. And even with 2 thick coats of top coat, I always find the Painted Polishes to be a little bit textured for me, and then also just this color combination. I felt like the flakies that were in it were just a little bit subdued due to how deep the color of the base was. So it just wasn't my cup of tea, and I had gotten it for free, so it was just kind of like, oh, okay. But I noticed somebody on Instagram mentioned that they didn't get their hands on it and they wanted it, so I went ahead and just sent it to them because I figured somebody who wanted it should have it more than me, because I just got it by accident. So that is Sugar Rush Crush from Painted Polish. The next one up is Ling from Zoya. This is a classic summer shade for me. It's kind of similar to El Capitan. I just really like these kind of like rich ocean blue colors in the fall time. This is obviously a lot lighter than El Capitan here, so this is more of maybe like, you know, shallower waters. It's a little bit more like aqua, you know, a little bit brighter of a blue. Really nice formula. I love this polish so much during this time of year. It's a great formula too. I think like 1 coat. I can't say enough good things about Ling. Did I stamp over Ling? Yes, I did. I tried like an orange stamp on that, which turned out fairly well. As I've mentioned in other videos, I can't stamp anything straight to save my life. So the orange that I used on this didn't stand out as bright as I would have liked, just because this nail polish is a little dark. So the orange didn't stand out as like neon-esque. I would have liked it to have been a little bit like more neon-y. But I liked it. I thought it turned out okay. I just can't. So the image was a little like wonky because it wasn't straight on my nail like I would have liked it to be, but you know, it's a work in progress, my stamping, but this is a beautiful polish. Love this so much. So that again is Ling. Next up is one of my Night Owl lacquers that I'm working my way through. I purchased the entire Parks and Recreation collection and I'm slowly working my way through them all. This one is called I Know What Things Are. This is one of the ones that I was on the fence about when I thought about purchasing the whole collection. I was a little hesitant about this one because this is an orange to yellow thermal. So I was a little like, yellow's not my favorite. My skin tone is very pink toned, and so whenever I wear yellow polishes, I'm always just disappointed because I just feel like they clash very hard with my skin tone. But I ended up buying the whole collection, so I wanted to go ahead and try and work my way through them. So like I said, I Know What Things Are. This is kind of a like it's an orange, but like it's a little bit subdued. It's not terribly bright. I want to say it's kind of like almost pumpkin-y, but not quite as dark. And it's also got this kind of like iridescent flash in there, as well as some larger iridescent flakies. So when this is, and this is its cold state, in the cold state, this is really pretty. I think it's not super opaque. It's got a little bit of kind of like a jellyish quality to it. So when this was in its cold state, I thought this was beautiful. I thought, usually I'm kind of like, me and oranges are a little bit hard. Like some oranges I like, some oranges I don't like. This I thought looked really pretty on the nail. I really enjoyed the way that the iridescent, and I'm usually kind of on the fence with iridescent flakies as well, but I thought this worked really well in its cold state. I loved the orange, like pumpkin-y shade. I thought it really looked nice on my nails. I liked the iridescent that was in there. It wasn't terribly, like the iridescents were there, but they weren't terribly like in your face. So I really loved this in its cold state. When it went to its warm state and it was yellow, I didn't love it at all. I just can't get behind yellow polishes. I just think they make my nails look so terrible. So I love this polish. I need to find out if there's a way I can make because I do realize eventually the thermal properties are going to die off, and so that's why I think I'm going to keep this in my collection, because when the thermal properties die off and it's just this orange color, I think I'm gonna like it a lot more. So does anyone have is there a way to make a thermal polish not change color anymore? Can I just leave it in the sunlight for a couple days? Like, is there a way I can make this stop turning yellow? If you know, let me know, because I love this in orange, but I don't want to wear this if it's gonna change to yellow, because the yellow just made my nails look terrible. So if you have any hints on how I can stop this from being thermal, let me know. So that again is I Know What Things Are from Night Owl Lacquer. And then I threw in an extra polish that week because I had picked up a couple of the 9-0 smoothie bar polishes. Sorry, battery card died. So I don't have a whole lot of 9-0s in my collection. Reason being, I first tried 9-0 probably like a year or two ago, and I didn't love the polish that I got. Now, I don't think it was just because it was 9-0 or whatever. I don't think it was just because of the polish. I think it was like a number of things. I think it was, I've come to find out, the polish that I got from 9-0 was Cauldron Fire. The reason I don't think I liked it is because I've slowly come to the realization that I don't love black with like glitters in there. I can never find, I always have this image in my head, and maybe it's like whenever I see swatch photos of black with glitter in them, I always think they're gonna look a certain way, and then I get them home and they don't look the way that I want them to look. So I think I had high expectations for this polish, and so I had difficulty working with the formula. Again, it was very textured no matter how many top coats I put on it, and so that was that was probably one of the first indie polishes I bought. It was probably like, you know, one of the first few that I remember buying. And so when it didn't work out, I kind of like pushed 9-0 to the side, because I was just I have a hard time, like if I try up an indie brand and I don't like the polish, I have a hard time buying from them again, because it's expensive. You know, I don't want to get burned too many times, and so I kind of like, every time I saw 9-0 polishes, I was kind of like, they're pretty, but you know, I had trouble with it the last time. Do I want to take that risk? And so I always just kind of like stopped myself from buying them. But I've seen so many people raving about the Smoothie Bar collection, and so I finally decided I would try her polishes out again and see if maybe it was a fluke, and you know, try a couple out. So I bought I think like 4 or 5, and I've gone through 2 of them so far. So the first one that I tried, obviously, was the purple one, and this is called Blackberry Banana. And this is just like a, you know, kind of a, it's not a grape purple. It's got a little bit of white to it. So it's kind of like a medium purple with those black shards in there. So I did like this. I gotta get used to the formula. The formula is quite thick, especially with, and so since the formula is thick, with these shard pieces, it makes it very hard to do a smooth coat on your nails. I find that the shard glitters kind of get in the way, and so it really, I have a hard time, like, I had a hard time kind of like brushing it onto the nail in like a smooth application. The formula was a little thick, but not terrible. And I was able to smooth it out with like a decent amount of top coat. So I did like it. I need to get used to the formula. I don't really love the brushes too much. I think the brush is a little bit too square, and so that also didn't help with application, but I did like this. So I am working my way through them. I'm glad that I got them. I just need to get used to the formula a little bit. So that again is Blackberry Banana from 90. And then the one polish I wore the week before we went on vacation is Ness from Zoya. Hadn't worn a green in a while, so I thought I would bust one out. This is a really pretty green for folks that don't like green. It's a jade green, so it's got quite a bit of white in it, so I think it makes it a little bit more palatable for some folks. I really like this polish. It's a really great, really nice formula. I think it's one of those, like, I always say there's a couple greens that I have in my collection that I find sort of like neutral-esque. This I feel like is one of them. I feel like this you could wear on the nail, and it just, to me, it's very subdued that it almost looks kind of neutrally to me. It is a green, I know, so that sounds kind of stupid, but I don't know. Some greens that I have in my collection I feel like could be, you know, I see as kind of like a neutral color. So that was kind of what this was for me. So that again is Ness from Zoya. Sorry guys, my husband came home and apparently he has a flat tire and needs, well, he has a bolt in his tire and now needs to take it to the automotive shop before they close, and I need to go pick him up. So I am not gonna be able to get through this other week of polishes, so I will just add that into the next week's weekly manicures that we're in the middle of working on right now. So I apologize for cutting this short. I apologize if it's a little rushed. I just knew I had like 5 or 6 weeks of polishes to get through, and so I didn't want to like dilly-dally too much. So I hope you guys are doing well. I apologize again for my absence. If you don't follow me on Instagram and you have Instagram, please follow me over there. I'm a lot more active over there sometimes when my life gets a little crazy like this. I just have the ability to, like, you know, snap some photos and snap my daily manicures and like talk to you guys and stuff. So please follow me on Instagram if you do not, in case, you know, I don't know how our week, you know, I don't know how our month's going. We're definitely going on vacation, or we're going out of town this following weekend, and so I just don't know how, like, you know, quickly I'm gonna be able to get videos up here. So I don't know if I'm gonna try and get into a better filming schedule, but I just don't know with what's going on in the outer portions of my life. So I hope you guys understand, and I hope you guys are doing well. Let me know what you guys have been wearing. I know a lot of people are in this like summer to fall transition right now. I unfortunately am not. It's still 100+ degrees outside here, and it will probably be 100+ degrees outside here for the next couple weeks, so I don't anticipate wearing fall polishes for a little while. And that's one of the bad things about living here in Texas, especially when you're a seasonal polish wearer, is that I only get maybe a few weeks of fall polishes because, you know, our fall doesn't start till maybe like mid-October-ish. So we'll see how I feel. I've been wearing a lot of bright polishes, and I've been slowly like getting a little bored with them, so I may move over. And this is, you know, I've been wearing some like all season appropriate shades, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how my transition goes, but for right now I'm still kind of in the summery mood, because I definitely think I wore a couple dark polishes recently and was kind of like meh. So, but anyway, I'm rambling. My husband needs me to go pick him up. So thank you again so much for watching, guys. I hope to talk to you all soon, and let me know in the comments what you guys have been wearing, and I will talk to you later. Bye.